From education to the workplace now, every week we focus on ways to get a jump start in the workforce. And in today's Reclaim Your Career, it's more than laid off people who are actually looking for jobs these days. Business owners who can't stay afloat are as well, as too are stay-at-home moms, all getting back into the career game. Valorie Burton is the author of Where Will You Go From Here? She is here with some strategies for getting back into the career game. Lots of different reasons why folks are saying, you know what, I'm going to have to shift gears and try to find new work. But it can be very discouraging when you look at the unemployment rate, when you look at the work availabilities and lack thereof.
And it's that very thing that's causing more people to want to go back in the workforce. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, you didn't plan to go back this early, or you're a business owner and you're saying business isn't really good, I need benefits, I gotta look for a job. And then there's all the people that have already been laid off that you're competing with if you're in that situation.
So you say you got to start off with kind of an attitude makeover.
Yes, absolutely. You have to drop the negative emotion, let it go. And this is very difficult, you know, particularly when you think about people that are in a setback. When I wrote my most recent book, Where Will You Go From Here, I give these 5 commitments, and the first one is I will not feel sorry for myself. And so, you know what, mourn your losses. I know this isn't the way you planned it, this isn't where you want to be right now,
and figure out a way to move
forward. That's right, but you've got to be able to move forward. And you need that energy to look for a job. You don't have room for that negative energy.
And you need that energy because when you look at the crowded job marketplace, crowded meaning there are a whole lot of people who are vying for that, you know, 1 or 2 or just a handful of jobs. You gotta be in it, I guess, and try not to get discouraged by that crowd.
So you can't be deterred by the crowded job market. If you are needing a job right now, you can't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. And that's just an attitude shift. It does not help you to focus on, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get a job. At some point you are going to get a job, and just make that determination now.
So now you have to kind of sell yourself a little differently. You have all this experience perhaps, and now you got to figure out a new way to reframe it to kind of sell yourself. How do you do that? So you must reframe the experience, particularly for business owners, because, you know, it's not about that you ran the company and you started it from scratch. You've got to say, well, you know what, I've got a lot of great management skills. Perhaps it's budgeting skills. You also need to be clear about how you let them know how your experience translates for that employer, and begin to paint the picture for them so they can actually envision you being their employee. And then you say tap on your personal network, meaning, you know, let everybody know. I'm looking for work.
That's right. And you know what? It's better to ask people for advice than to ask them for a job. So, you know, tap into that network, let them know what it is you're trying to do, but then ask for their advice. Because if people don't know of jobs, they kind of get a little bit, I think, anxious when people are asking them, do you have a job? Is there a job for me? Instead, ask their advice.
Ask for their advice, and sometimes you may need to ask them to give you some constructive criticism as well. Sometimes you don't want to hear that kind of stuff, the negative stuff, but you got to welcome it too. You
need that feedback because you must maximize every interview, every opportunity, and particularly if you haven't been in the job market in a while, you need to have those answers to those tough interview questions prepared in advance. You know, are you just looking for a job until things get better, until your husband gets his job back, or until you can grow your business again? You need to be able to answer those questions. So get constructive feedback about how you're doing with those answers.
Maybe even have someone do like a mock interview.
That's right.
You know, to know how to handle certain questions so that it does come off, you know, just kind of trippingly off the tongue.
Yeah, that's absolutely essential, and you can do this, but you've got to believe that you can do it. And when you believe you can do it, other people begin to believe in you as well. And so that's critical for that interview. You've got to have a positive attitude, even if deep down sometimes you don't feel so positive.
I think you may have transformed a lot of attitudes already. Valorie Burton, thanks so much.
Thanks, Fred.